Okay, y'all, I'm getting my, moving my laptop over to the set. I'm in the other part of my studio. So let's see, let me disconnect my hard drives. And I'm coming over there. And I've got the Mavic Air 2. And we're going to be looking at it. So this is everything y'all want to know about the Mavic Air 2. And I've got the first field test video. I filmed that this evening. Very impressive. And I'm uploading that now, so we ought to have that visible here shortly. And I'm walking over to my desk. I just had to safely disconnect my hard drives first because I edit over here in a corner. So let's see. Let me bring my doohickey over here. I put this over here, and I got to move my Mavic Air 2 because it's here on my desk. Hold on. I just saw Mavic Air 2. Oh, yes, you did, Trelp. Yes, sir. I'm glad you watched that. I tell you, man, taking it out of the box is only part of the excitement. This thing is awesome. Let me grab my water. Let's see. Let me grab that. And let's see. Yeah, let me grab my water. Grab it. These things are great, man. Just wash them off. Let's see. Yep, got my water. Now there may be a little bit of lag, and that's because I'm uploading. Philippe, welcome aboard, sir. Let's see, since I'm uploading the field test right now, and probably what I need to do, I probably need to change this setting here real quick. Okay, we're good now. It was just because I was moving that stuff around. Let me stop my preview here. Get y'all's chat open so I can see your chat. Let's see. Can everybody hear and see me okay? Is everything okay? Just making sure we're good before we start rolling here with the questions. Today I think I'm just going to keep the green screen off because that way you'll be able to see the the Mavic Air 2 and everything a lot better than if I have the chroma key. So I'm going to talk about a few first impressions and things that have happened the first day in the field with the Mavic Air 2. Obviously this evening was my first flight with the Mavic Air 2. And it was a very good experience. And I'm gonna have the video live here in a few hours for everybody. But in the interim, we're just gonna do a live Q&A. And obviously, I've got the didgeridoo. So, if you tuned in last night, you know what makes this little horn sound, and that's super chat. So if y'all want to super chat, I've got this right here on standby. And let's see, let's go ahead and jump right in here. Audio, bandwidth, all looks good. Brad says, I can't decide if I'm going to buy the Air 2 or hold off 6 months for the 3 Pro. Well, if you're on the fence, man, that's it. And again, I'm a little different animal here on the channel because I'm reviewing these drones. I love to review every drone and share with the viewers. That's part of that's my hobby, that's my business. And it's just a lot of fun. So with that being said, obviously I'm not going to encourage anyone to buy a drone if I don't feel that you need it. But with that said, I'm going to explain my experiences after my first evening in the field with the Mavic Air 2. So a few things that I want to chat about first, and post any of your questions in the comment section. Excuse me. And I'll answer them. Trepp says, I remember the moment I got my Mavic Mini filled with excitement. Yeah, man, I mean, this stuff, that's the cool thing about these DJI drones. I mean, every new drone is a new and exciting adventure. And, there hasn't been an adventure yet with a DJI drone that's left me feeling stranded and thirsty. So, that's a rare, for any sort of product, especially something as technologically advanced as this, that's a rare accomplishment. And spill the beans, says 90 whatever. Oh, we got, oh, you know what that means. That is the sound of the super chat. So anytime a super chat comes through, thanks Philippe. Anytime that comes through, I will sound the horn. If we can break through 100, I will not just sound the horn, I will break out the tribal drum. So there's a lot, and if we break 200, well, we got some stuff. So let's talk about the controller first. And the controller here, I will say this is the most radical improvement that DJI has made to the drone since, well, I mean, honestly, it's the best controller yet. I love the smart controller for Mavic 2 Pro. But what makes this controller unique is, you know, unlike the original Mavic Pro, the Mavic 2, the Mavic 2 Zoom, without the smart controller, the little sticks that you had. You know, you had to pop down those little wonky handle grip things, and then you had to wedge your phone in there. And if your case for your phone was too fat, it probably wouldn't fit. This thing is, whomever designed this, and I told them, you know, during my field test today, which that video is going to go live soon, I said, whoever designed this controller, they need to put this on the top of their resume. And the reason they need to do it is because it's so well designed and it's so innovative. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. You know, to look at this, you think, oh man, that's just a controller. You know, that's nothing special. But the reason that the person that designed this should put it on the top of their resume is because it's a conversation piece. You know, people might ask, you know, why did you put designing a controller on the top of your resume? You know, can you tell us about it? And then when they say tell you about it, they would just remain silent. And they'd be like, well, sir, don't you have anything to say? And they wouldn't say anything. And then they would just pull this out of their bag and plop it on the desk of whomever is interviewing them. And once they put it in their hands, they would feel the awesomeness. I mean, first of all, the build quality of this is great. I mean, this feels more high end. I've got an old PlayStation. I don't even have a PlayStation anymore, but I got a PlayStation 3 or 4 controller. I can't remember which one it was over there. That thing feels small. Yeah, the gamepad sticks are nice. This thing is heavy. It's well made. On the back, it's got these rubberized grips, so when you're really sweaty, you know, you can better grip it. The sticks, the little sticks like you're accustomed to with the previous drones, you know, they just screw in. They look a little bit different. They're kind of a silverish color. They still have the, I guess you would call it the knurling, you know, that really, you know, spiky surface where it really, you know, if your fingers are sweaty, it really, sweaty or wet, it holds, you know, you get that really good tactile feel. Brad says, I just started a side business with drone photography. Way to go, man. Way to go. And speaking of that, the photography test today, this evening, all that I did was in the field, first flight in the field with the Mavic Air 2. So I haven't gotten around to testing the photography capabilities yet. That's on my to-do list, the still photos. 90, let's see, actually I said it, 90, whatever, spill the beans. How was the field test? Sounds like a thumbs up. Yes, not just a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. And we're going to get into that here in a minute. And y'all will be able to see the Mavic Air 2 first field test video here, hopefully within a few hours. Actually, I'm uploading it right now while I'm doing this live stream. And it looks like it is 21% uploaded. It estimates an hour and 41 minutes remaining. Now, obviously, after it uploads, it's got a process on YouTube's end. Since it is about a 35-minute long video, and I filmed it in 4K Ultra HD, you know, it may take a while, but it will be there ASAP. It's uploading right now. Philippe says, you're welcome, Ed. 90, whatever, the integrated antenna is awesome. Nothing to bend around. You know what's funny? You said that. Because when I was doing the field test earlier, you know, part of the controller, you know, what you immediately notice with the Mavic Air 2 controller is how solid this feels. I mean, this is a premium feeling product. You know, whether it's a video game controller, a drone controller, or, you know, maybe something really high-end for some sort of who knows what. This thing is exceptionally well made, exceptionally well made. And your point about the antenna, as we pop this up, that was a thing. You know, when you first started using this, it's like, you know, you're used to the older Mavics, and you got to, you know, pop out those little wonky things that held your phone. But then I was like, wait a minute, there was something else I had to do with the older model Mavic Pro, the older model Mavic, the original Mavic Air, and the Mavic 2 without smart controller. And what that was the antennas. You know, you're like, well, do I need to pop it up? You know, some people were saying pop them out and point them straight up. Some people were saying point them straight out. This controller solves the problem. Because when you pop this sucker up, this right here that holds your phone, when you pop this up, there's no antennas. This is your antenna. And then what's even better, the way that it holds the, and if you pick up a Mavic Air 2, by the way, and if you do, go to epicdroneshow.com and click buy a drone, and that'll help support my channel. But if you do pick one up, you might think when you open the box, well, wait a minute, I use an iPhone, but they didn't put an iPhone cable in here. And the reason being is that when you take this out, they already put the iPhone cable in by default. So it pops out, there's your iPhone cable, and then you just slip your iPhone in here, and it holds it, and the cable goes in the side. It's super convenient. And I've got my iPhone over there, it's charging up. I'll get it here in a minute. But what's also really nice, and I've got a close-up video that I'll be posting later, is just the details in this, man. I mean, this thing is crafted like a finely crafted Swiss watch. I mean, they paid attention to all the details. Again, the grips on the bottom, you know, you got sweaty palms. The knurling on the control sticks, if you got sweaty or wet hands. And then they even went as far, and you'll see it in my video where I do the close-up, these rubberized areas here and here, but these rubberized areas have little notches out. And you know why they have notches? Because smartphones have the, you know, the lock buttons and the volume up buttons on the sides. So they put those there strategically, so when you put your phone in there, it just fits it like a glove. And it doesn't interfere with the buttons on the side of the smartphone. I use an iPhone XR. But then when you're finished, all you do is just pop this little puppy down in there, and then the cable stays in there, and then you fold this down, your cable's in there, and you don't have to worry about it falling out in your bag or falling out in the field or whatever, because it's got this little, you know, enclosed area there. The controller obviously has a return to home. It's got a power on. It's got 3 modes: tripod, normal, and sport. My first field test video that'll be uploading soon is filmed entirely in normal mode. I did that on purpose because I wanted to test the battery life. I think you're going to be blown away by the battery life in real world tests that I performed today of this drone. I mean, it was phenomenal. One thing I did do, and this was just, you know, being new with the Mavic Air 2 controller, this right here is a shutter button, a stop, you know, snap photo or stop or start video recording button. And inadvertently, because my phone was here and I was holding the controller, I inadvertently pushed that today. And you'll see that in my first field test video from this evening. It was very good lighting. It was kind of close to sunset, but towards the end of my first field test video, the Mavic Air 2, I accidentally pushed that and stopped the recording. Speaking of the field test, and I don't want to spoil all the excitement from the field test, because I want you to watch the first field test video. And let's see, we got a question here from Brad. Do you ever color grade or shoot in DNG? Well, now for still photos, I do shoot in RAW. So when I'm using the Mavic 2 Pro, I use RAW exclusively, and the reason being is that with RAW, I can go into Lightroom and I can color correct. You know, if you've got for everybody out there that may not be super technical when it comes to photography and or videography, RAW provides a lot of value. So think of RAW as, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. RAW would be like there's got to be a really straightforward way to visualize this. So, okay, here's the thing right here. Okay, yeah, here this is a simple example. So let's say that you buy let's just say you buy a pair of sunglasses, and they've got lenses and they're fixed in them, and you know you can't change those lenses if you, or ski goggles, that's a better example. So you buy ski goggles, there's different colors of lenses for ski goggles depending upon the brightness and a lot of factors. So if they're interchangeable lens ski goggles, it's easy to change them and you know optimize the viewing experience for the environment. But they're fixed lenses, you know, there's only so much that one can do to try to tweak it. So if you're dealing with still photography, for example, probably the most common image format today is it's called JPEG, JPG, or JPEG. Those are great quality images. However, what you're getting with a JPEG is what you get out of the camera. You know, it's like, okay, this is it. It looks very good, but if you want to customize it, you know, we don't provide you with JPEG with the opportunity to enter the engine room. Whereas with a raw image or a raw video, you don't just get the image, but you get the engine room. So if something's not running right, you can go down there in the engine room, poke around, and play with some switches and stuff, and make it look better. Or in the case of an engine, make the vessel perform better at sea. So if you're shooting in RAW, and like Brad said, DNG, that's RAW. If you're shooting videos and/or photos in RAW, you've got the luxury in post-production to go back and better color correct. Now you can color correct a standard JPEG image. You can color correct a standard video. And you know, to better answer your question, with video, actually I don't shoot video in RAW, but I do shoot all my still photos in RAW. Because with stills, you know, I want to go in and really adjust the saturation, adjust the exposure, you know, do a lot of things that I couldn't do if I just captured a traditional JPEG image. So there's advantages. You know, my best advice for anyone out there, especially if you haven't messed with RAW, is to start out with the still photos. You know, switch your camera or your drone's camera over to RAW, and in some cases it may be RAW and JPEG. But you know, after you get those images, run them through something like Lightroom. Pick up see if Adobe Lightroom has a free trial. Try it out, and take an image that looks great. Say for example of water or trees, you know, something with a lot of color. Take that image that's a RAW file, and then go into something like Lightroom and adjust it, and you can make an already awesome photo look professional. I mean, it's amazing what you can do if you shoot in RAW. John says, what's your advice to someone new to shooting with a drone? Well, the thing would be is, you know, kind of knowing what you're shooting. You know, are you shooting, are you doing still photos? Are you doing videos? You know, the place where you're going to be, is it wide open? Is there anything in that area that, you know, like trees or stuff? You know, maybe you need to go there and kind of check out the location before you start flying to make sure there aren't any obstacles that you might have to avoid. I mean, there's my best advice is just to have fun. And honestly, what I would do is I would pick up, if you've never flown a drone before, the best drone, just to learn the way that a drone feels in the DJI ecosystem, is to pick up a Tello, Tello, the Tello drone. You can find it on epicdroneshow.com. And the Tello is an incredible drone because it's very entry level, but it'll get you into the drone game, and then maybe step up to like a Mavic Mini, which is a very capable drone, and it's also USB rechargeable. So, you know, just play around with it, have fun, man. I mean, I've been doing this since Phantom 2 came out. I was somewhat late adopter because I bought Phantom 1 when Phantom 2 had already been released, but that's because I was hesitant to get, you know, to get involved with the hobby, because I mean at that point, and I mean it's still super expensive, but it was like, man, I'm gonna spend this much for something that maybe goes up in the air and crashes the first time, or it flies away, and that hasn't been the case. I mean, these drones, DJI drones, have been turbo reliable. But yeah, it's. Oh, did we get another? Oh, I thought we had another super chat coming through. That's why I'm holding this. The Didge, Philippe super chatted. Let's see. So yeah, looking at, you know, the controller, we looked at the Mavic Air 2's controller. Very nice. The best controller design to date from DJI. Now I love the smart controller. It has an integrated screen. But there's actually drawbacks to having a controller with an integrated screen. And the thing is that that integrated screen is permanently mated, at least to the current model, Mavic 2 Pro or Mavic, I guess I should say Mavic 2 Smart Controller, because you could use it with Mavic 2 Zoom or Mavic 2 Pro. But the drawback to that controller is that the screen is permanently mated. So, you know, the value of this is that you've got you bring your own smartphone. And Jim's asked a great question. He said, can you use an iPad with that new controller? I need to look up the specs right now because I don't have an iPad, but I can show you how far out it'll stretch. So it stretches. I wish I had a thing to measure with here, but let's see. I mean that. You know, looking at it, I don't think, and I may be wrong, I don't know if that's going to be a Mavic Mini, a iPad Mini. So let me see how, what this supports here. I'm going to look this up for you. I use iPhone XR, so it's not even the fattest iPhone. Let's see if this will support a tablet. And while I do that, I'm going to hold this up, and we're going to start. Man, this this thing is super duper cool. And let's see, we've got. Let's see if it'll support. Okay, as far as connection types, it supports Lightning, micro USB, and USB Type-C. Supported mobile device connectors, it says. But as far as supported mobile devices, you know, that's something I haven't found yet. But just looking at it with it in my hands, I am willing to speculate that the controller probably would not accommodate even a small tablet. And if I had a measuring tape, I could measure this. But I mean, that's the gap. I mean, that's fully extended right there. So you got to think from top where my nose is to there. That's all the room you've got is right there. So I don't eyeballing that. Maybe it's 4 inches. Oh, you know what? I've got a measuring tape. Let's see. Let me see. Let me get my measuring tape, and we're going to check this out. We are going to check this out right now, y'all. Let me get my measuring tape. Measuring tape. I got my tape. I got my zape. Okay. So, we're going to measure this. Ding ding. So, with this fully extended, okay, that's fully extended right there. It's approximately 3.5 inches, is at least what I'm seeing. So, let's see. Yep. See, it's right around, actually maybe a little bit less than 3.5 because those stick up. So you'd have to measure your device, and I don't think it's going to accommodate a tablet. He says you need a third-party iPad extension. Yeah, and I bet. I mean, as far as connection's concerned, you know, obviously this comes with a Lightning style cable, and I think it's. Let's see, is it USB-C to Lightning? I think it is. Let's see. So probably, and see this pops out. So let me see what we got here. Yeah. So here's what's in there, and this is. So on this end, it's USB-C as in Charlie. On this end, it is Lightning, which is your iPad connector. And actually, the newer iPad Pros use USB-C. So what you could do is you could get just a USB-C to Lightning if your tablet uses a Lightning style connector. or you could get a USB-C to USB-C cable if your tablet uses a USB-C connector. And then you could just plug that in here, and like people were saying, getting an adapter for your tablet, or maybe just, heck, get you a long cable and put it on a table in front of you or something while you're flying. I mean, there's so many options. But that's something I'll research, and I'll post, if I find some good ones, or if y'all have some good recommendations, I want to put the links up on my website, epicdroneshow.com and irixguy.com, because I want to make it easy for everyone to find where to order those add-ons. So let's see here. Let's check our upload of the first flight, Mavic Air 2. It's 38% uploaded, which means that it's estimating about an hour and 11 minutes for upload, and then it'll have to process on YouTube's end. And I just realized I didn't plug in my laptop. That's super important. I'll plug that in. Laptop is plugged in here, so we're ready to rock and roll. So a few things that happened in the field today, and you'll see this in the video when it goes live here in a few hours. But I made a really stupid mistake. I was so excited to go out and fly this evening that, as soon as it arrived, I'm like, man, I had everything ready. I downloaded the latest firmware for the controller and the drone, charged the battery. I was ready to rock and roll. And then I also put in the micro SD card. But I quickly grabbed the micro SD card and popped it in. And while I was flying today, and don't worry, there's tons of footage. My first field test with the Mavic Air 2, you're going to see tons of 4K 30 frames per second video. Now today, in the first field test, I filmed exclusively in 4K 30 frames per second with HDR, high dynamic range. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to have a good baseline. Now obviously I'm going to test 4K 60, 4K 60, the additional frame rate, because what I want to do with that is test the ability to retime, speed up and or slow down portions of the video that's recorded and see how that looks. But I can tell you, when you watch here in a few hours my first field test with the Mavic Air 2 this evening, when I fly over some water and there's shadows, you can really see that HDR, that high dynamic range. I mean, it does an incredible job. And that's something with a sensor. This is not a 1-inch sensor like you get on the Mavic 2 Pro. This is a smaller sensor camera, but it does have an f2.8 aperture. And I will say the HDR, the high dynamic range from this, is very impressive. But yeah, I was an idiot. I thought I was prepared, and then my video stops recording in the drone. It says internal SD card full. And I'm like, is this because I'm filming in HDR? Because I haven't filmed, obviously this is the first time I've flown the Mavic Air 2, and I was like, man, that was quick. And then I looked at my card and I realized that I had only picked up a 16 gig card by mistake instead of my 64 that I have right here. So that won't happen again. I felt like an idiot, but at least I got a ton of video. But when you watch my first field test video, since y'all have watched this, you'll already know that that when that happens, that's what happened. Because when it happened, I didn't know. The other thing, now there was something strange that occurred when I was going airborne for the first time, and you'll see it within the field test video. But so I had the props on, and I've got a video coming for that too. How to attach propellers. Attaching the propellers to this, it's kind of confusing the way that DJI labeled everything, because what happens when you unbox the DJI Mavic Air 2, you get these little baggies, and they've got color codes on them, and then there's color codes on the arms. I've taken them off now. But there's color codes on the arms that say, there's I think it was blue and yellow. But then the bags also have the little baggies with the propellers in them. They also have those colors. But the motors and the little nipples in the center of the propellers, they have different colors. So it's like, why put the yellow and the blue stickers on and put that on the baggies? Wouldn't it have made more sense to match the color? So long story short, looking at the baggies is kind of silly. It's a waste of time. I mean, I felt cheated when it happened. Bottom line is that all you got to do is look at the nipple in the middle. This nipple has a kind of grayish, silverish color. This nipple is solid black. This motor has a grayish, silverish stripe on it. This motor is solid black. So basically all you do is you match the silver nipple propellers with the motor with the silver stripe, and the black nipple propellers with the motor with the black stripe. It's that simple. So I mean, it's idiot proof. But when I first took this off today, and you'll see in the first field test, it was weird because it did a sanity check in the app. It said, did you remember to properly connect the propellers or whatever? I mean, I recited what it said within the field test video. I'm like, yeah, of course I did, because I don't want to crash this thing. And then when I started to take off after that, it's like the rear end didn't want to pick up. It was weird. And then I went over there and I'm like, wait a minute, let me quality check myself. And sure enough, everything was fine. And then it took off fine, flew great. Awesome drone. I mean, very smooth. In the hover within the field test video, when you see how there's minimal fluctuation while this thing hovers, I mean, it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there in the sky, man, just staring at you and smiling. So 90 whatever says, do you use a dedicated phone for drone flying? I have an old iPhone 6 Plus with no service I'm thinking of using. Actually, that's a smart idea. And now, there's certain features that you may not get if it's not connected to a cellular network or a Wi-Fi network, so be aware of that. But yeah, I'm one of these always, I don't like distractions while I'm flying. And it's you know, I used back in the, and I haven't done it in a while. I mean, I'll admit I've just got my phone now. I use iPhone XR. But back in the days, you know, y'all check out my older Phantom videos, you know, the first the Phantoms with the, you know, connecting to the smartphone, and you'll see that I was using, for a lot of those, I was using an iPad mini, because to your point, basically all that an iPad mini is an iPhone without a cellular plan. So I think it's kind of cool, you know, having that dedicated device. I've also dabbled with Amazon, what do they call it? The Amazon Fire Tablet. And those devices, at least, and I got a lower end one, it did it, and you can check out my video. I think it was it Mavic? Was it Mavic Pro 2? I can't remember which drone I flew with the Fire Tablet, but it was it worked, but I probably wouldn't do that. I think your idea of using an older retired iPhone is a great idea. But yeah, I mean, this thing is a treat, man. I mean, the thing about it is that the battery life, and you'll see from my video, I mean, I think when I finally landed, I think I still had, what was it, like maybe 10% or so remaining. I mean, incredible battery life. The size of this, it's smaller than the Mavic 2 Zoom. It's smaller than the Mavic 2 Pro. Obviously, those drones are the same body size, just different cameras. But the design language says, hey man, look at me. Have you seen the Mavic 2 Zoom or Mavic 2 Pro? And you're like, yeah, aren't you that? And you're like, no, I'm the Mavic Air 2. But it's obvious, you know, this could fool someone. You could see this and say, oh, that's a Mavic 2. It's got the same design language. I mean, they stepped away from the original Mavic Air, which came in the various color options. I had red, which I thought was really cool. I wish the bottom of it had been red. That was kind of why I went with red, so I could see it in the sky, because, you know, red and blue and clear skies, you know, typically stands out against a sky or even clouds. But the bottom of it was like a dark color, so that was kind of disappointing. Now, when I got this thing, when this thing came, I scrubbed everything down, man, because, you know, this pandemic going around, you don't want this thing coming in and saying, I'll make you sick. You don't want that. You don't want that. So, I got to get this over here. I have a feeling we have, I bet we have some super chatters in the house. If y'all haven't super chatted, if you're just tuning in for the first time to one of my Epic Drone shows, and the same's the case for Irix Guys live shows, when you see this thing, you know that if you super chat, that you can hear this thing. So just Just something to remember. And if you don't know how to super chat, down in the chat, there's that little icon that looks like a little dollar sign or something. And you can, I mean, again, I'm not trying to push you on it, but if you want to, you'll get to hear the didgeridoo blow. And if we break through 100, you get to hear some drums. So yeah, just remember that. But yeah, we're, so what do y'all want to know about the Mavic Air 2? And again, I've only had this, I've flown it one time. I flew it for the first time this evening, and I've been caressing this drone, you know, to get to know it better. But I'm here to answer your questions. I mean, that's why I do Epic Drone Show, and that's why I am the drone evangelist. So, you know, I'm here to have fun, but also to hopefully provide some educational value and maybe some entertainment along the way. And it's, you know, I've got a cut sheet, and I'll let y'all in on what John says. I'm going to fly mine with the Mini 5 with an extension. Very cool. Yeah, extension adapter, you know, because that's on the top of this controller. It's just a little USB-C in there, USB Charlie. You know, that's an easy thing to do, run that extension cord out. Some of my most memorable days with drones in the field, I got, I'm trying to remember which drone was it. Was it the Phantom 3 or the Phantom 4, where I just got this ridiculously long lightning cable just because it was cool. And actually I got it because the short ones were more expensive, and it just kind of stuck. So I was running around with a drone and this huge cable, and everybody just kind of laughed at me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Super chat. That is the sound of the super chat. So anytime a super chat comes through, you get to hear that. And we get through 100, I bring out the drum. So how loud is it? Talking about the Mavic 2 Pro. See, they keep coming out with all these numbers. The Mavic Air 2. And honestly, that's something, it's not loud. And when you hear it on the at the start of the first evening in the field, I bring it close to the camera, and I'll let you see the you know, how it hovers so precisely. And then you can also hear it within that. I've got my, you know, my little Rode mic on, so you'll be able to hear the what am I trying to say? You'll be able to hear the, oh, we got Andrea in the house. Welcome aboard, Andrea. Yeah, so you'll be able to hear it. It's not a loud drone at all. I don't think it's loud. It doesn't have, and I'm trying to think of the drone that had the really sharp, like, sinister swarm of bees sound. It doesn't have that. It's a very pleasing sound. The gimbal speed is in wheel. Yeah, there's a gimbal. The gimbal wheel's right here. That is something, for my first field test, I actually didn't adjust the gimbal wheel speed. Now, I want to explore that. The way that it was set, at least for me, out of the box, is that it's just you can get a very slow and smooth and cinematic effect using the gimbal wheel. And I love, again, the tactile feel of this controller. I mean, you just feel like, when you put this controller in your hands, man, you just feel like you're the boss of every drone in the world. I mean, it is, it just has, that, it makes you feel powerful, and it makes you feel good because it's just so solid, man. Things are so cheap nowadays. I buy dishwashers every year or two. It's ridiculous. And when I buy them, I go in there and I say, look, I don't want anything nice. I want the cheapest, most banged up dishwasher you've got. And they're like, why do you want that? I said, because they're all junk and they all fail. If DJI made dishwashers, that would be wonderful, because it would be a quality product. You can't even get, I mean, appliances nowadays, ugh, terrible. Let's see. Brad says, I realize since having Mavic 2 Zoom, it's going to be hard to not have a zoom feature. you're right, and that's what makes me think that DJI is probably going to make it simple, and probably with the Mavic 3, I bet they'll probably introduce I bet it'll probably come with a modular camera option that's user swappable. So, you don't have to send it back, or you don't have to have a lot of technical knowledge to replace the camera yourself. I bet that's something that's going to happen with the Mavic 3. And it's probably intentional that we didn't get zoom, because I mean they could have, to my knowledge, they could have added a zoom camera to the Mavic Air 2. But I tell you, man, and I think when y'all see that, let's check on the video upload status here. Let's see how far it's gone here. It says 50 minutes remaining, 54% uploaded. And I'm talking about this video is the Mavic Air 2 first flight. My first time flying the Mavic Air 2 this evening. It was very nice weather. It was very cloudy. But you know what's cool when it's cloudy like that? Photos and videos often look the best. Let's see. John says the controller is great. The controller is the best in class. It really is. And I don't miss the smart. It's lighter than the smart controller. It's got a more, I don't know. It's just, you gotta hold this in your hand, man, to feel it. And I know you have, John, because you say it's so nice. I mean, that on a photo or in a video, just video or photo doesn't do it justice. So now we've got, Brad says DJI is the Apple of drone industry. No doubt. And that begs the question, why the heck has Apple, why the heck is Google or Microsoft, why have they not entered the drone game? I mean, that's a question. It's just, I don't get it. I mean, DJI, without a doubt, they don't have competition, man. They really don't. I wish they would, because that would create, that would prompt more rapid innovation, and it would prompt, better prices probably, and there's a lot of things that competition can bring to the playing field. Brad says, I think a 1-inch 4K 60 zoom camera all-in-one will be in the Mavic 3 Pro. That's highly plausible, and that would be sick. I mean, imagine a 1-inch sensor camera. Makes you wonder, DJI, of course, acquired Hasselblad, very high-end camera manufacturer. It makes you wonder if DJI will be using a Hasselblad camera in their upcoming Mavic 3 or Mavic 3 Pro. And, that's going to be an interesting thing. 90 Whatever says, Speed Queen clothes washer and dryer, old school quality, phenomenal. I'll have to check that out, man. I've used, all of mine have been bent and dent for the washing machines. It's been bent and dent General Electric. I even had a dryer, man. I had 2 dryers burn up. This is within the past 10 years. 2 dryers burn up, 2 washing machines, and about 5 or 6 dishwashers. I mean, it's just, it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. Let's see. Haley with the flare. I want to upgrade from the Mavic Mini to the Mavic Air 2. Well, I tell you where you can make that happen. Head on over to epicdroneshow.com. If you go there and you'll see the big banner that says buy a drone, you can click that. You will find the Mavic Air 2, the Fly More bundle, and then also the basic, as well as all the accessories. So thanks in advance. And we got John says Autel tried, but they can't produce. That's their problem, man. That and John, you hit the nail on the head. I loved what Autel had at CES, Consumer Electronics Show, and this was several years ago. I think this was back. Oh, I mean, it's been many years ago, but I remember that Autel drone that was at CES, and it was modular camera. They had a 360 spherical camera option. They had a like a infrared camera option. They had let's see, what was the other one? Some sort of other camera. I mean, it was a very good looking drone. Never hit the market. Nothing. I pinged Autel on social media. Hey man, that drone you were showing off at Consumer Electronics Show, where is it? Silent. Radio silence. Radio silence. There's a few things in business that really irritate me, and one of the things that irritates me the most and makes me lose respect is failure to deliver. So, they failed to deliver. I mean, they were touting something really cool that I was genuinely interested in. They failed to deliver. And then they just bring you all this what was it, the Autel Evo, and then they came out with the Autel Evo 2. It's like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. And then you got Parrot on the other side of the fence. You know, Parrot's a toy manufacturer, and Parrot dabbled with trying to create a serious drone, and they came pretty close with the Parrot Anafi. But you know, you hold an Anafi in your hands, and then you hold the Mavic Air 2 in your hands, and I mean, it's a difference between a I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. John says they have some great engineers, Autel. I bet they do, man. And that's the sad part. I could not fathom working for a company and being an engineer and designing these really high-end drones and this, that, and the other. I couldn't fathom being in that position and just seeing DJI dominate the space. I mean, I'd be like, man, you know, marketing people, you got to learn, if you're going to show something off, you got to sell it. And then if you're going to sell stuff, you got to have stock to sell. I mean, I don't know. And I'm not trying to bash them. I mean, it's not just Autel. It's pretty much anybody that's stepped up and tried to dethrone DJI. And I don't think anybody's tried to dethrone DJI. I think the attempts at even coming close to the level of success that DJI has failed for everyone. I mean, even GoPro failed. And GoPro was a unique situation. I don't know if you remember the Karma, but it was the drone. Karma was the drone that I was convinced was going to be the thorn in DJI's side. And it could have been, but number one, GoPro, that was a horrible name, Karma. And it bit them, man. It bit them. Because it was recalled because of potential safety issues. And then after the recall, then instead of just scrapping it and saying, you know what, Mavic Pro came out, which is smaller, lighter, and better than our Karma. So we ought to just abandon GoPro Karma and start from the drawing board again and create a newer and better drone. GoPro has the engineers. GoPro has the money. I mean, they're publicly traded now. They have been for a while. They should have but instead they just threw in the towel. They're like, nope, no more drones. We're going to abandon drone business. We're going to be an action camera business. They do make the best. GoPro does make the best action cameras. I'll hand it to them. And maybe they made the right decision by abandoning drones. But it was just, that was failure, man. I couldn't imagine being. Well, I mean, Nick Woodman probably doesn't care. He's out on his multi-million-dollar yacht and just enjoying his GoPro success, which I'd do that too. I haven't had I haven't created a startup with GoPro's level of success by any means. But if I did, I tell you, it'd be hard to want to branch out and expand beyond the bread and butter, which is the space they own and control, action cameras. So they may have made the right decision. But I mean, and then you got all these crowd-funded drones. These crowd-funded drone companies, and they promise the world and they never deliver. Y'all remember that drone? It was called Lily, Lily camera, which it looked really cool, and you could pre-order it. And then they had the little affiliate program. If you pre-ordered, then you referred to people. You got whatever it was. I can't even remember what it was, and then they said, "Oh, we're not even going to release the Lily camera." And then apparently somebody else, and I never even checked it out, but apparently it reemerged. And it was some sort of like flaky, I don't remember what it was. It was like if you bought it, then you got like some garbage penny stock or something. It was just really weird. So that was another drone that they promised and they never delivered. I guess they did kind of deliver, but they didn't deliver what was touted on crowdfunding with throwing it in the water and it's waterproof and I don't know, who knows. But that's, Mavic Air 2, man, it's, it's hard to, after the first evening in the field with Mavic Air 2, it's hard to say, hey, I know this drone inside and out, because I don't. But what I do know is that it was a very positive experience. And when you watch that video, the Mavic Air 2 first time in the field, first flight, actually just Mavic Air 2 first flight, you'll see why this thing is so cool. I mean, it is super cool. And it's awesome. And it's, what's cool? This color, and today it was very gray out. it was getting dark and the clouds are really gray. And this thing was so easy to see, man. I don't know what it is, if there's some sort of special, I don't know. Tell me when you fly your Mavic Air 2 if you feel that it's very easy to maintain visual line of sight with. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I was flying the the Mavic Mini really heavily previously, and I got kind of accustomed to that. I mean, who knows? But yeah, man, we've got anything, any questions y'all have, and again, the upcoming field test that I have I've got. Let me pull up my notes here, and I'll tell you what I've got in queue so far. Let me see, Mavic 2 Pro, or Mavic Air 2 rather. Let me see what I've got coming here video-wise. So on my video to-do list, I've got the Mavic Air 2 first flight, which is uploading now. I've got the Mavic Air 2 build quality, where I go over the various components and share opinions regarding the build quality. The intelligent flight modes, I want to run through all of those. So that's going to take that's going to be several videos. I want to do the 4K 60 test. Obviously today during my first field test, I did 4K 30 with HDR, 4K 30 with high dynamic range. Also want to do the still photos test. I want to do a I need to add that, low light video performance. Because we need to see how well or how poorly this smaller sensor. I mean, this is not a 1-inch sensor like the Mavic 2 Pro has. So we want to see how well or how poorly it performs in lower light, around sunset and that sort of time. So that's going to be another test. Also the sport mode test. I want to see how fast this thing will go. You'll see in my first field test video from this evening, once it goes live here in a little bit, that I think the speed for this in normal mode, again, I didn't enter sport mode, but in normal mode, I think it was around 27 miles per hour. Was about 27, 28 miles per hour is what I observed as the top speed. So it's a very fast drone. I mean, it'll get from point A to point B very quickly. I did not encounter any interference with the FPV. It remained, it was pristine. I would go as far as to say the FPV viewing experience of this, I don't know if it's a new camera or what, but just being able to see the details in what I was filming, especially when I was flying over, and you'll see it in my first field test video. It's going to go live here in a little bit, but where I'm flying over water, and you can see the trees over the water, and you can see the shadows, and you can see all the different colors. I could see that on my iPhone XR in the FPV view. I mean, it was really incredible that that I could see all those details. So, and again, no communications issues at all. I mean, the FPV was rock solid. The controls remained rock solid. It was just 100% rock solid experience. With the problem that I encountered because of my own, being an idiot, and that was accidentally grabbing a 16 gig micro SD out of my drawer instead of my 64 gigs. So that was my own failure. And the propeller thing, though, I want y'all to see that before I took off the first time, how the rear end of it just kind of did a little funky thing. I want to see if anybody else has experienced that. Not that it was a problem. It was weird. I don't know why it did that. It's just super strange. Let's see what we got here. This didgeridoo is wanting some action. It's wanting some action. Didgeridoo. It's right here. It's on standby. So, I don't know what questions do y'all have so far. I mean, I've got the Mavic Air 2 here in front of me, and it doesn't mind if we ask questions. It doesn't care. Hello, I am the Mavic Air 2. What are your questions today? I will be happy to try to answer your questions. See? That's an open invitation. The Mavic Air 2. Let's see here. Let's transport Let's transport here. Teleport. Check this out. We are going to teleport. Bam! I'm at the beach with my dude, my didgeridoo. So we are on the beach. I tell you, man, it's going to be good when all this pandemic stuff goes away so we can get out and get on the beach. Scott, great question. Is active track in 4K? I heard quick shots are only 1080p. That is on my to be tested list. From what I've heard, and again, I haven't tested it yet, but I've heard that, sorry, I had to scratch my face, and since I've been touching this drone, even though I scrubbed it, I don't want to, the pandemic stuff. Scott says, is active track in 4K? I heard the quick shots are only in 1080p. What I've heard, and again, to be confirmed, is that if you're in 4K 60, I don't know how all this is going to work. I think people said that it may work. I think you may have to be filming in 4K 30 or low. If you're filming in 4K 60, I don't think it'll do the intelligent flight modes like active track and all of that in 4K. But I don't know if it'll do it in 4K 30 either. So again, to be tested, but that will be a disappointment if the intelligent flight modes are limited to 1080. I mean, not that 1080 is a poor resolution, but as we know, I mean, once you start watching 4K Ultra HD, 3840 by 2160 resolution, that it's just hard to, it's hard to experience a lesser resolution. I mean, unless you're on a mobile device or something. When you're on a mobile device, it's not as noticeable. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, to be tested. H2O. Running around that field all evening filming these videos. Tech for your needs, man. Welcome back. Man, long time subscriber. Greatly appreciated. Actually got a ton of long time subscribers in here, which is awesome. Actually, I think all of y'all are long time subscribers. That's a good thing. Scott LaRue says, by the way, you've lighted your green screen so perfectly. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Actually, is the lack of side sensors any concern? I wouldn't think so unless you're a new pilot. For new pilots, it could be a concern. I mean, obviously, I turned the obstacle avoidance off because, I do a lot of stuff going through tree branches and the treetop canopy and that sort of stuff. And if you've got that on, it makes it challenging. The green screen, and that's something. Let me pop my other camera up here. I'm going to show y'all something. This is kind of cool, I think. I'm going to sit this didgeridoo over here in case any super chats come through. It'll be ready. Let's see. So I've got my what's it called? Well, I got to pull this app up here because I'm going to show y'all something cool. I'm going to show y'all something cool. So, let's see. Let me pop this in. I love this live streaming setup here. I want to show y'all. Let's see. Here we go. This is going to make it pop up. So now I've got to do add. Here we go. And I am on the same network. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to show, talking about the green screen, man. There's something here that's kind of cool. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. So check this out. You were talking about the green screen, and this is, let's see, let me change this over here for y'all. Change this audio to, instead of, because I switched to iPhone audio. Okay, now I got my Pro mic. So I'm using the iPhone as the walk around camera. But yeah, what I want to show y'all is this setup here. So I've got a video of this, and y'all be able to find the links to all the equipment. But I've got my A7 R4 up here, and then I've got this right here is a USB cable that's providing power. So it's got a battery in it, but it's providing power to, I think after last night's live show, I think I was still at 80% battery. Then I've got this is the HDMI, and then it's running into a 4K HDMI cable, and then it runs into this little box right here. I've got a review of this box coming, super affordable and super high quality. So basically what that box will do is make your high-end camera, if you've got like a mirrorless camera or a DSLR or something with an HDMI out, it'll turn that into a webcam of sorts. Now, as far as lighting's concerned, you can see I've got the light over there. What it's doing is lighting the green wall. Then I've got that one over there, which is lighting the green wall, and then I've got that, which is lighting me. But the end result is that when you look at this from here, even though there is the curve in the wall, you're seeing a pretty consistently lit green screen. And you know that's how I've been able to achieve these more convincing green screen effects, is because I've been working on lighting and using that device that I'll be posting a video of to turn my mirrorless camera into a webcam. So that was I don't know, that's been a fun project. Now the next step for this, and this is beyond drones a little bit, but it's part of Epic Drone Show because this is the Epic Drone Show studio. The next phase is going to be an ATEM. So I'm going to have it's basically a miniature productions or miniature broadcast studio is what it's going to be. So when that sucker gets here, I'm going to have, instead of doing the live streaming and the chroma keying through my laptop, I'm going to be doing that through a standalone device that's going to be connected to YouTube. It's also going to be connected to the cameras. It's going to be connected to its own network connection, and it's going to be handling all the chroma keying, the green screening itself. So in essence, at that point, all my laptop will be doing is I can have, through the network, a connection with the software interface for my physical ATEM production switch, where I can control it. So if I want to switch from my primary camera, maybe I'm doing an unboxing video, maybe we're talking about this drone, I can push a button and switch among the various cameras while maintaining the same high quality audio from one of the, having my microphone plugged into it. So that's going to be a cool thing. But if you're looking for a one camera solution that's going to blow away your webcams out there, stay tuned for my video about the little box that I'm using, because I just started using it, and it's whoa. That is the sound of the super chat. Anytime those super chats come through, man, that's awesome. That is definitely awesome. Andrea, that is greatly appreciated. 90 whatever is the lack of sides. Okay, I already answered the side sensor thing. Yeah, so I mean it's an impressive drone. Let's see where the upload is of the first field test video. 22 minutes remaining. Now keep in mind, those 22 minutes are for the video to upload. Then it's got to process, and I've still got to create some sort of cool thumbnail for this video. That's one thing about YouTube, man. You know, you need to have, you don't have to have fancy thumbnails, but I've found that if you put bold text and something that's relevant, like this will be Mavic Air 2 first flight, well, you know what you're going to watch. You're going to watch the first flight of the Mavic Air 2 here on the channel. So, yeah, that's always cool. I'm popping up. Let's see if this is up. This is not up. Why is this not up? Man, I forgot to pin my Irish Guys Adventure Channel merchandise up in the chat. I just put it up there. That is the official Irish Guys Adventure Channel shirt. You can also find them on Amazon if you go to Amazon, or actually just go to my irishguy.com and go to store and then merch, and you can find the Irish Guys t-shirts there as well. Or you can get them through the little link you see there. I'm linked in with Teespring. Really cool shirts. So yeah, anything that y'all want to have tested with the Mavic Air 2, just message me, because you know I rattled off the cut sheet of known topics that I have right now. But you know, as I encounter challenges, hopefully there won't be too many challenges, but if I do encounter challenges in the field, you know, that's an opportunity to post videos to document those challenges. And that's, you know, it's fun, and it hopefully provides y'all with value. And, you know, that's what I'm here to do, man. Epic Drone Show and I want to bring, I haven't, the Drone Evangelist. And that was, when I really started getting into drones, I created the Drone Evangelist, and I need to figure out a better way to incorporate the Drone Evangelist into Epic Drone Show. Because I think, you know, with the Epic Drone Show and the Drone Evangelist, I think that's should be a very powerful presence. And I mean, that's what I'm looking for from this is growth, man. I mean, I enjoy doing this, but it's more than just a hobby. Let's put it that way. So we got 19 minutes remaining on the upload, and it is 11:30 p.m. New York City time. So I'm gonna run around here and answer any questions y'all might have. Now, obviously, I'll be having some more live shows throughout the weekend, so tune in. And I'm gonna try to get, you know, that ATEM thing for the live streaming, and can do some really wacky stuff once that comes. But I mean, right now, I mean, this, yeah, man, that, you're right, that chroma key is, green screen is, I'm not gonna move these lights when I mop. I've got a steam mop when I'm mopping here. I guess I'm just gonna have to figure out how to mop around those lights, because these, you're right. I mean, the brightness and the position of these right now is perfect. It's convincing. It is perfecto. Let's see. So yeah, just think of what you want to see, and again, stay tuned for my first field test video from this evening. And again, it's low light. It was getting close to dark, cloudy. I think you're going to love the filming conditions. And especially, tell me what you think after you watch it about that HDR, that high dynamic range, especially while flying over the water with the trees and the shadows from the trees. So, yeah, it is going to be interesting to see what what y'all think about that, and is there stuff you'll be able to spot in the video? Question for y'all, a challenge for y'all, when you watch the video, are you able to see the propellers within any of the shots? And it may not have been propellers that I saw while I was flying, but see if you pick them up in any of the shots, because again, it could have been something else. And when I edited the video, I mean, I don't, you know, this was I think a 35-minute long video, so I didn't watch it in its entirety because I was more concerned with, with putting it together and sharing with y'all the authentic experience, the first time in the field, the honest first time in the field with Mavic Air 2. So I didn't watch every bit of it and listen to all of it and scrutinize the video. So it's going to be interesting to see, if y'all do have the opportunity to watch it. And great question. 90 whatever. Did you see any activity with ADSB AirSense? That is a piece, that's a functional component of Mavic Air 2 that I need to explore. Today, I didn't explore that. I mean, obviously I was in a safe and responsible location, and I always will be, but it'll be interesting to check out that functionality. And, and I'll throw this back at y'all. How do y'all feel about that? I mean, if you're out in the field with nothing around and you're not even going close to 400 feet AGL. I mean, if you're just flying at 10, 15 feet off the ground, in that scenario, how do you feel about having that functionality there? I mean, I'm a huge advocate of safety. I mean, looking back to, the early Phantoms, always use prop guards just because I thought that it made it a safer drone. And actually, it wasn't because I needed it for my safety. It was more of a perception thing. People saw it and they're like, "Oh, that's cool, man. You protect others." The thing I haven't used them on the Mavic, and I'm not going to use them on the Mavic Air 2. And the reason being is that this thing's not top heavy when it lands. That was the thing with the Phantoms; they were top heavy. So even if you were a good pilot, and especially if you were landing on a boat or something that was rocking, which I did a lot, it had a tendency to topple over. And if it toppled over and those props were spinning, more than likely you're going to break a prop. So that was the main reason that I was a huge advocate of prop guards. And then, but I think the new prop guards won't be prop guards. I think they'll be, like you were saying, stuff like this AirSense, and again, I haven't explored that yet, so I can't speak even semi-intelligently about it. So, but yeah, that's a great. I'm going to add that to the exploration list. And let's see, what else do we have here? I'm going to go ahead and cue this video. And keep in mind, when this video goes live, the first day in the field, Mavic Air 2 first flight, when it goes live, it'll probably be a little while before you're able to view it in full quality HD. Because usually, YouTube will process it on their end. It'll go from very low resolution, then it might bump up to like a 720p and then maybe a 1080. Sometimes it takes a while, especially with a longer video like this one. Could take hours or maybe even a day or so before it's fully processed. So if you watch it and you don't, Scott says, "I remember watching you back in the Phantom 2 Vision Plus." Man, those were fun days, man. The Phantom 2 Vision Plus, it was kind of, it brought us FPV, it brought us first person view, and it brought us a glimpse of what was coming next from DJI. And I mean, Phantom 2 Vision Plus will always remain one of my top drones, because it was the one prior to the Phantom 2 Vision Plus. And I remember I was on a shoot, I was in British Columbia, and I was up there, and I had made this really cool drone. It was the Phantom 2 that I built. You can check it out with the ZenMuse gimbal and the whatever the best GoPro with 4K was at the time. And I put all that stuff on there, all the antennas and it was a project. It was a fun project. I enjoyed it. I spent all that time and a considerable amount of money building that drone. And it was fun. It was kind of like building a computer, And then, of course, the Phantom 2 Vision Plus comes out. It's a very, cosmetically pleasing design, and it just works, and you don't have to attach all these antennas and retrofit your first person view system. You don't have to use all these third-party monitors. And yeah, I mean, that drone was the Phantom 2 Vision Plus was a huge turning point in DJI's success. I mean, it really was. I mean, that's a drone that will live in the history books. You know, I think the Phantom won because it was the first drone. I mean, the first real drone, and then the Phantom 2 Vision Plus, the first out of the box first person view drone experience. You know, something a lot of people had not experienced unless they hacked together their drone like I did with a GoPro. But yeah. Let's see how the upload's going. We may get, let's see, 10 minutes remaining. Man, that's that's not long. And I've already put all the tags in there, and I've just got to add a some sort of thumbnail. Come up with something. Scott said it was basically when they got rid of GoPro and went their own way. Yeah, you're right. That's another huge point, because that was a point when when DJI started to become a camera company as well, and that was huge. That well, and the good thing is too about it, you know, you didn't get with the cameras on DJI drones, you didn't get all the fisheye like you got with GoPro. And I know with certain settings in GoPro, you can, I think it's called linear mode. You can pretty much do away with the fisheye. And some people like the fisheye look, but yeah, and we know how the Karma drone. Yeah, Karma. What was that drone? That drone, we thought of it a few weeks ago or a few months ago. And it was the one they had the really cool marketing campaign. They had the monkeys and I mean, they spent some money on that marketing campaign. And it was, they were saying it was the GoPro drone before GoPro actually released their own drone. What was the name of that drone? It was, and it wasn't a GoPro drone. It's just that they had some sort of deal with GoPro to be able to use their communications with the camera or whatever. 3DR Solo. It was the 3DR Solo. That's one that we probably all forgot about, but I mean, wow. I mean, it looked good. The marketing campaign looked great. But where did that one go? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But it's going to be fascinating to see. Well, I mean, you're about to see what's next when you check out this field test video. It's got 8 minutes remaining, so hopefully I'll be able to get this up. I'm going to get some more H2O. And my thoughts are, if I just drank a bunch of water. If I drank a bunch of water, hopefully I don't get this stuff that's going around, and at least if I do, I'll be hydrated, and who knows. But yeah, Scott says, I feel bad for all the people who bought into the Plexi drone and had their money stolen. I came very close to buying in, but yeah, man, I wasn't. I'm glad you weren't either, man. I wasn't a victim of that disaster. Yeah, that is not a good feeling, that's for sure. So, yeah, we're gonna do another live show. I'm gonna do one, and I don't know the exact time, but I'll do one tomorrow evening. So, tune in with your questions, and hopefully. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of time. I will probably do that around 8 or 9 New York, 8 or 9 Eastern. Yeah, it's late. It's 11:42 p.m. So, on that note, y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'm going to drink some H2O, and I promise y'all, I'm going to get that Mavic Air. First flight video. I'm going to get that up for y'all hopefully within the next hour if everything processes on YouTube's end. How much is this drone? This drone, man, and head on over to, there's several, obviously I'm mentioning my site, epicdroneshow.com. You go to epicdroneshow.com, you'll find it. It is, I'll tell you, the current, let's see. Go to epicdroneshow.com, click buy a drone, the big graphic at the top, and then click Mavic Air 2, and you'll find, I never say prices in live shows just because prices change, but just go there and you'll find both. There's the drone itself, just the basic bundle with one battery, and there's a Fly More. And I would recommend the Fly More if you can afford to spend just a little bit more, because you're gonna get a lot more, more batteries and a lot of cool stuff with it. So, but yeah, check that out. Check it out through Epic Drone Show if you don't mind, man. That supports my channel in a major way. So, Brad says, I think you and Bill, the drone reviewer, could become good YouTube friends. Hey, man, I've tried in the past. I did a lot with, and she was really cool, Drone Girl from Ireland. I did a lot with her, and I've just found, man, with all the stuff, it's tough for me to, and I would love to collaborate more on YouTube, but it's tough for me to collaborate, because then I've got to work with someone else's schedule, and then I've got, multiple businesses that I run, and it's just, when I come on this show, it's kind of like, boom, I'm on because I can. Maybe it'd work out, though. Maybe I could work out sometimes. Maybe I get lucky and be able to do some collaborations, because I think that's really cool. I mean, it gets more, it gives more energy to the show, and especially with that live streaming equipment that's coming in, I think it'll be easy to bring in others. And yeah, that's a good idea, man. I appreciate the suggestion there. Let's see. Oh, it's 3 minutes left on the upload. So I'm going to go ahead on that note. I'm going to go ahead and get some H2O. And then I'm going to design a thumbnail for the Mavic Air 2 first field test. And y'all will be seeing that hopefully within an hour or so, because that's a huge video, man. The first flight with any drone, I've got to get those out ASAP. So appreciate y'all's support. Appreciate your super chats. Just for the super chat so far, I'm going to do a farewell didgeridoo. On that note, thank y'all for tuning in, and again, thanks for the super chats. Oh no, woohoo! I got to do another one. I'll do one more. That's good. The sound of super chats. One for the road. Yep, I'll give y'all one for the road. Y'all be safe. Wash your hands. Keep that social distance. And stay tuned for another Epic Drone Show live here very soon. Tomorrow evening, to be exact. So see y'all then. And come with your questions, because we're going to, anything you want to know about Mavic Air 2. Get online, research tonight, find those questions, bring those questions here. So, thank y'all, and man, I got to hit the gym, man. I'm getting fat. That's not good. So, thanks for y'all's viewership and support, and I am cutting out of here. Y'all have a good one. Hey y'all, Rick Sky here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.